All right, so last week I did a video basically, and I'm gonna finish this, but I did a part one of my early life experience and how I got red pilled, like my first half of my life. Okay, pretty detailed. Talked a lot about my past as far as my family and my dad and things like that. And I want to do this video kind of like almost like an appendix, but like an in between, like a little, I don't know what they call that, prologue or some shit. Anyway, probably should have paid more attention in English class. But they have books, right? And then they have like an intermission. They have books that have like a beginning and middle and intermission and then an ending or whatever. So I'm gonna do like a little bit of an intermission, and I want to talk specifically about friends, which is a tough subject, right? I think as humans, and it's an interesting time that we're living in, because now we've almost got like an interlude, right? We've almost got like hey, we got this pandemic, right? We got this pandemic, and it's almost like everybody's like, wait a minute, let's take a step back and like, let's assess let's assess everything. Let's assess where we're going. And somebody shared something, and I like what they said, and because they shared, this person was talking about how we can all, now that we have, a breath of fresh air, we can all take a look back, we can all take a step back and say, wait a minute, where are we going? What are we doing? And it's an interesting thing, because I think humans, we're deeper than just, let's go to work, let's make money, let's get a car, let's get a house, let's do this, let's do that, right? We're deeper than that, right? There's an essence to us as humans. Some people will call it the spirit. Some people call it a human spirit, right? A spirit, an essence. Whether it's the spirit, whether it's the soul, whatever it may be, I think that to say that we're separate and we're divided is somewhat of an untruth. I wouldn't say that we're one completely. Some people take it too far and say we're all one, we're all the same, we're all part of the same. And I don't know about that, but that's a little bit far. But I do believe we are sharing an experience. And I do believe there's energies. I believe the world has energies. There's negative energies, there's positive energies, there's godly energies, there's human energies, right? There's evil energies, there's Christ-like energies, there's satanic energies. The world is full of energies, and you got to be careful in that sense. You got to be careful what energies you're tapping into, But I think we have an essence. I think we're multifaceted. I think we're multi-layered as human beings. We do have a soul, and I think we do have a spirit. And I think within that soul and within that spirit, there's differentiations, right? There's different functions in those relative, faculties, right? Some people be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I would say meditate, man. Meditate. Take time away from your everyday activities. Take time away from constantly, focused on something that's negative, or constantly focused on something that's just purely for entertainment, right? There's so much to distract us out there. There's so much to take up our time, right? We're deeper, we're multifaceted, we have an essence, and I think what's sad, one of the biggest tragedies that I've seen in life is people who deny that essence, or people who never even find that essence, people who never even find something deeper. And in my time here, I've definitely spent a lot of time in pain. I spent a lot of time in depression. I talk a little bit about that in that old video, or that other video I just did. we can be sucked into negative patterns, and we can be sucked into negative experiences, and that can even become habit, can even become habitual, right? We can habitually be negative. We can habitually be, in pain. We can, it can be, our brain is so, and our chemistry as humans is so sensitive, so to speak, that, and it's so used to being, routine. We're very much creatures of habit, and we can become routinely, habitually in a negative pattern, routinely, or, habitually in negative energies, and we can track those negative energies, unfortunately. And the more that we are focusing on negative things, the more we have negative thoughts, the more we have these type of frequencies around us, the more we attract those type of frequencies. It's weird how that works, but it's true. So what does this have to do with friends? What does this have to do with the pandemic? What do these truths have to do with all this? First of all, we need to at least admit that these are truths, that these things, these things are, that is the way things are, unfortunately. You have to even come to that realization. Many people don't. Many people are so compartmentalized. Many people are so used to the same routine and habits that they've been living in that they never experience anything different. And many people try to experience stuff different, and they say, oh, I'm going to take drugs, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to, and it's like, you don't have to. You just have to first come to the realization that there's other things out there, right? There's other energies, there's other frequencies, there's other, essences, there's other experiences that, that can become subjective, right? First you admit that. First you come to that realization. Then you say, well, let me explore some of the things. How do I get into these other things? How do I, right? And I'm not saying you should go seek negative things, but specifically, especially not satanic things or any of those evil energies. Don't seek that shit, because you will not be in a good place. And you can go into that place. You can slip into that place. I've been there. That's not a fun world. That's not a fun vortex. Get the fuck out of there as soon as possible, right? But what does this have to do? What is this, find godly energies, find positive energies, right? Find uplifting energies. Find those frequencies that will heal you. Find those frequencies that will lift you up and bring you to a higher place and build you up, right? Build you up, not only lift you up, but build you up. But what does it have to do with, first of all, we're in this pandemic, right? Being that we're in this pandemic, we've got a chance to step back and breathe, because like I said, this world is a matrix, man. This world is set up, and I believe it's evil. I believe it's run systematically, not only by evil people, and this is provable, man, particularly in this age with YouTube. You can prove it. You can systematically prove it, that it's evil and run by evil people who worship evil and serve evil. You can prove it. The people who rule over us, our entertainers, our famous people, idols, quote unquote, right? I mean, God said in the Bible, He said, you should not make another idol before me, right? What do we have? Idols. Hollywood, entertainment, NBA, television, right? Idols, right? So that's just one example that proves there's other frequencies. There are things out there that are powerful entities, right? So we have this opportunity to breathe and to get out of the matrix and to step outside of the everyday, run-of-the-mill habits and our routines, which are, like I said, centered around all this bullshit, centered around all this destruction and decline, mostly. I mean, you turn on the TV and what do you see? You see cigarette ads. What's that going to do? Kill you. You turn on the TV, you see alcohol ads. What's that going to do? Kill you, right? You turn on a movie and what is it? Sex, right? What's that going to do? Put you in danger. Kids out of wedlock, put you in debt, get your heart broken, right? I'm not saying sex can't be wonderful, but there's dangers, man. There's dangers, right? And it's a system that's pushing us towards those things. It's a system that is encouraging those things. So we have a pandemic now, and this pandemic basically is, however you want to look at it. You can look at it negatively, or you can look at it positively. You could say, well, negatively, yeah, man, we got to watch out. We could die. We could get this flu. We could get this virus. People are dying, right? Over 150,000 people probably by the time this video is out have it, and maybe a lot of them are healing, but a couple thousand people are dying, right? And people are scared to go out, and everybody's quarantined. It's like, hey man, let's look at this in a positive light. Let's take a step back and say, what are we doing? Where are we going? What are our goals, and what do we love, and what are we seeking after? What's right? And we've lost our humanity. We've lost our human aspect. And when I talk about frequencies, that's what I'm talking about, is we can tap into frequencies that people don't even know what they are. Because I believe there's an evil that wants us not to tap into those frequencies. I believe that there's essence, man. You go to a farmhouse. There's an essence there. There's something beautiful there. You can sense God there. There's order. There's beauty. I believe that the earth is created that way. I believe the earth is wonderful like that. I saw this it's called Mickey and the Beanstalk. This old cartoon called Mickey and the Beanstalk. And at the very beginning of this, it's hilarious, right? It's got Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, Pluto, the dog, I think, and Goofy, right? And they're basically, they basically got the magic beans. First of all, it's fucking hilarious, right? It's hilarious. Disney is pretty evil, but Disney created some funny ass shit. And Mickey and the Beanstalk's one of those things. But at the beginning of this Mickey and the Beanstalk, right, it shows this great, beautiful kingdom, right? It calls it a kingdom. I believe the earth is a kingdom. It talks about that in the Bible, man. And I'm not specifically just pushing like Bible, go to Christ. Well, I mean, yeah, that's great if that's your frequency. If that's, you can tap into that. But I'm saying in general, the earth is a kingdom. The earth is, it has, there's beauty in a kingdom, right? There's order in a kingdom. A kingdom, when you think of a kingdom, you think of something special. When you think of like a city, a town, you're just like, oh, it's a city, it's a town, whatever, blah, blah, who gives a fuck? A bunch of buildings and cars and homes, and who gives a fuck, right? It's ugly, whatever, nobody gives a shit about that. But when you think about a kingdom, you're like, oh, there's order, there's this beautiful land, there's somebody who's keeping the land, right? There's a king who's ruling over it, and it's there. You think of beauty and splendor, right? So that's a kingdom, and you can go watch this. I don't know if it's on YouTube. You can find it somehow. You can fucking rent it. Spend $2 and rent it. Mickey and the Beanstalk, hilarious. But the very beginning of that cartoon, there's this kingdom, and it's like, oh, there's this beautiful kingdom, woo, right? And then it's like this shows that, but a darkness came over the kingdom, right? A darkness came over to rule the kingdom, and there was a famine and woo, and it's like all this stuff, right? I'm pretty sure that's Mickey and the Beanstalk. I'm about 98% sure. Might be something else, but I'm pretty fucking sure it's Mickey and the Beanstalk. Anyway, so yeah, pretty damn sure it's Mickey and the Beanstalk. So it's just that picture alone, right? And even if it's not, you understand the illustration, right? There's a kingdom, it's beautiful, the sun is shining, there's wonderful trees and flowers everywhere, and there's order and shit, and then some darkness came over and everything dried up and there was a famine in the land, right? That's what the earth is like, bro. The earth is like that. It's beautiful. God created it beautiful. God created a beautiful kingdom, right? And you can tap into it every once in a while. If you can tap into that frequency, if you go to the right spot, if you have the right mind, right? If you have the right, if your mind's in the right place, you know, if you're not filled with all this negative bullshit, all rap music, I go out and be this and that, I'm saving money so I can do this, like all this shit that we you know, confound our vessel with, right? The shit that keeps us occupied, the shit that keeps us from seeing the beauty, right? You can tap into that frequency, man. You can find it. And times like these, when there's a pandemic, everyone's like, oh man, I can't go outside, I can't do this, I can't. You got an opportunity to find something. You know, you got an opportunity to tap into something. You got an opportunity to tap into that different frequency, man. And but this is what it is. I think that the earth has been shadowed and blinded, you know, by this evil frequency, whatever it is. I believe it's Satan. I believe it's a satanic frequency, right? But due to this frequency, you know, or excuse me, due to this pandemic, we got time to assess, to step back and assess who we are, where we're going, what the earth is, right? And see the beauty. You know, I go on walks and I like to just look at houses because there's order in houses. Like, this is a great house. It's like there's order here. The grass is cut. The shrubs are trimmed, you know, it's clean. There's the paint on the house is nice, right? Everything, there's order. There's order in the earth. You know, when people are tapped into the right frequency, you can sense the order, you can see the order. And particularly in nature, you know, you'll find a lot of order. You'll find a lot of order in nature and things like that. But also, I'll say this. I started this podcast out basically talking about friends. And I want to say that it's hard to find good friends. It's hard to find the right frequency of friends. What you want in a friend is somebody who's going to lift you up. That's what you want. You want a friend who's going to lift you up. You want somebody who's going to lift you up. At the very least, you know, do no harm. Most people, I wouldn't say most people, but a lot of friends out there, very selfish. You know, a lot of friends out there, so-called friends, right? A lot of people out there, very selfish, you know, very self-serving, very self-seeking. They want to put you down, you know. There's different frequencies. Not only is there a positive, orderly kingdom frequency on the earth that you can tap into every once in a while if you got the right eyes, but there's a positive, orderly, kingly frequency within some people, you know, and you can tap into it. Those people have to be on the right road, you know. There's people who are not on the right road. There's people who are not on the road for the right reasons. They're not meeting up with you for the right reasons. They're not, you know, they don't have the best intentions for you. Some people just don't care that much about you. You care more than they do. You know, some people are using you. Some people are gaslighting you, right? Some friends are not real good friends. They're not the right kind of friends. They're not the right quality of friends. Okay, this is legit. This is real. This is the world that we live in. First of all, you got to get yourself right. First of all, you got to know your worth. Know who you are. Know that, and have self-esteem. Stand up for yourself. Believe in yourself, first of all. Okay. What that means is, and that will be tested. That will be tested. What that means is you're going to go through some hard times in life. You're going to go through some real pits. You're going to go through a lot of failures. Life is full of failure. Chock full of failure. It just is. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna make big failures and big mistakes. You want to try to minimize the magnitude of those mistakes, right? But during that time, you're gonna see who your real friends are. And I talked a lot about this in this old video, or you know the last video I did on my early life. During those times, you're going to see who your real friends are, because they're going to stick with you. Your real friends are going to stick with you. And people who are really positive, the right type of people, you know, a lot of people don't ever even meet the right type of people. They don't even know what the right type of people are. A lot of people in this world just don't even know, because they've never even experienced the right type of people. And I'm not saying that, you know, we should always go seeking for other people, because you need to have strength in yourself. You know, you need to have confidence and self-assuredness and self-esteem, and you need to, and that's tested, you know, when you're failing. That's tested when you're making mistakes. That's tested when the wrong people are gaslighting you. That's tested when the wrong people are, you know, taking advantage of you, discarding you, not giving you enough, you know, respect, you know. And friendship isn't all, you know, necessarily all about respect. Or, you know, some people take respect and they run with it, and they think, you know, they kind of mistake respect for, you know, what's the word? Kind of a selfishness, kind of a adoration, like, oh, you should respect me, therefore, because I'm, you know, I'm worth it. And I was like, that's toxic. Like, no. You are who you are. You know, we're all sinners and saints at the same time. We're all successes and failures at the same time. We all have talents, and we all have, you know, we've all got skills in certain things, and we got bad skills in certain things. We're not skilled at some things. We're skilled at, you know, we're skilled at other things. The right type of people are going to help you find your skill. The right type of people are going to praise you for your positive points. The right type of people are going to seek out and encourage you on your positive skills and your positive points. The wrong kind of people are going to say, oh, you're not like this. You're not cool in this way. Therefore, you know, the wrong type of people are going to walk on you. And you don't want those type of people in your life. You don't. You want to get rid of those people, right? You want to get rid of toxic people, selfish people, narcissistic people. You want people who are quality in your life. You want people who, if you can't, learn to be solo. You know, I read a really great book a long time ago. It's called, let's see, what's it called? It's called let's see if I can remember it. The Art of Being a Loner, I think is what it's called. Pretty sure that's what it is. It's a book called The Art of Being a Loner. And I didn't read the whole book. I skimmed through it. But one thing I like about books is I like the main point. Like, sometimes you don't even have to read the book. You just look at the cover, you read the cover, and you're like, yeah, it is an art to be a loner. It is a skill, you know? It's a skill. And you learn how to do it. You learn how to be alone. And it's good. It can be very good to be alone. It can be very good for your soul if you do it right, if you do it with skill. You know, learn to, you know, appreciate small things. Learn to appreciate art. Learn to appreciate, you know, walks. Learn to appreciate nature. Learn to appreciate a hobby, right? If you can be happy by yourself, that's one of the biggest keys to life, right? Be happy by yourself. So many people can't. So many people can't be happy by themselves. So many people are desperately seeking other people to fulfill them. Desperately seeking friends, quote unquote, to uplift them and help them, etc. Well, you know, that's why a lot of people are in bad situations. That's why a lot of people are addicted to things. That's why a lot of people aren't happy. That's why a lot of people aren't successful. Because when you seek pleasure and fulfillment and joy and happiness only with other people, then you're sort of in their power. You're sort of enslaved by them almost, you know? Anyway, so my point is that, you know, I talked a lot about this in that other video, and I was talking about how I learned who was my real friend. I learned who was really quality from suffering and from falling off and from not being popular anymore and losing my social status, And I think that's a wonderful experience to go through, because stripping yourself helps you to build yourself back up. When you strip yourself of certain things, certain accomplishments, certain attainments, etc. Not to say you should really seek to do this. If your life is good, your life is good, whatever. But sometimes, there's an old saying that says, sometimes you got to cut the grass real low so you can expose the snakes. Sometimes there's snakes in your grass and you got to cut the grass low to see them. What that means is you go through a period of failure. You lose certain aspects. You're not as cool as you used to be. You're not as popular, whatever. And whatever it may be, lose your money, become broke, whatever. You'll see that all those people only like me for that reason. Those people are only with me because I had this. Those people don't really like me. Those people aren't really building me up. Those people are just kind of leeches. Those people are just kind of, feeding off my energy. Those people are kind of hangers on. They're feeding off my confidence and right. And I'm not suggesting that you take it super narcissistic or take it so selfish that like, oh, I'm so confident. Like sometimes, yeah, we need other people. We're very social beings, humans. We need other people to, for fun, for laughs, for shared experiences. That's wonderful. I'm not discouraging those things, not at all. But what I am discouraging is the wrong type of people. And when you have the right type of people in your life, it's a blessing. It can make or break you, man. It can make your life wonderful. But if you have the right people in your life,